Right guys, hello. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing in this lesson. So we've got a ball rolling down a modified cube, knocking over some dominoes. Okay, nice and cool, yeah? Right, so let's go ahead, let's have a blank document. And straight away, let's go ahead and save this into our Blender folder, and this is lesson 3. Lesson 03. Okay, good, right, when we've done that, let's delete our light. Okay, so press X to delete and then delete it. And let's set up our scene, or our world. Where is it? Yeah, so here, our world. Let's add a background to that. So we know that we can do this using an environment texture. Let's open it. I'm going to use one, actually. Anyone is okay. Then let's go ahead and look at that. Might take a minute or two to render. Okay, not my favorite. There we go. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Right, when we've done that, we can go back into our viewport mode. Now we need a plane. So let's add a plane. G to grab. S to scale. 10. And then N to bring up this transform menu. And I want it 50 meters long. Okay, there we go, 50 meters. This cube we can repurpose. So let's have this 5 meters. Yes, let's leave it by 2 meters, by 1 meter. Or even just by half a meter. Let's go to our side view. Let's grab this on the Z-axis, let's move it up. Let's grab this on the X-axis, move it across. Okay, so we have something like this, yeah? Let's look at this again from the side. There we go. I want to rotate this. And I want to rotate it kind of like that. While we're here, let's add a UV sphere. Let's grab it, move it on the X-axis, move it up. Grab it again, move it on the select tool. Grab it again, move it on the X-axis, move it across. And while we're here, let's give this a material. Okay, I'm just going to use a simple color. Okay. And we can give this a material as well, yeah? Just a simple color. Okay. This floor, let's go ahead and give this a texture. So I'm going to open one of my textures, one of my materials. A stone floor. Base color. If we go into render mode, there we go. Okay, that looks fine. Yeah. So we've got something like this. Let's go ahead and save that, just in case we lose our work. If we press play, okay, nothing happens. Nothing happens because we've not programmed anything to happen. So let's add some physics. So this is going to be a rigid body. It's going to be active. We don't need to change anything here. This is going to be a rigid body. It's going to be passive. We don't need to change anything here. This is going to be rigid body. It's going to be passive. we don't need to change anything here. If we press play, okay, fine. If we look at it through our camera isn't set up properly yet. But okay, fine. Right, let's go back to this view. Let's reset that. Now we need some dominoes. So let's add a cube. I want to change the dimensions. X is going to be 0.2. Y is going to be 0.7. And Z is going to be 1.35. Let's set up our rigid body. Our rigid body of this is going to be active, but this is going to be a box shape. Okay? Right, let's go ahead and zoom in. In fact, let's have a look from the side. Okay, so we can see that half of it is actually under the floor. And that's not what we want. So I'm going to G to grab, Z, and then I'm going to move it up so it's sat on the floor. Okay, good. Now, what do we want to do next? Well, let's just play this animation, see what happens. Okay, so it knocks it over. Okay, that's fine. Yeah? Now, we want lots more of these dominoes, but we're not just going to copy them. We're going to do this the smart way. So we're going to go here to modifier, add modifier. We're going to add an array. Yeah? And when we do that, we can increase the count. I'm going to have 25. You can have as many as you want. But they're all kind of blocked together. Now, we're going to turn off relative offset. We're going to turn on constant offset. And the distance here is going to be about 8. And that spaces them out quite nicely. There we go. Now, if we have a look, if we play our animation, what do we expect to happen? We expect the first one to get knocked over. Okay. So we see we've got some behaviour that we weren't quite expecting here. Right, so let's go ahead and fix this. So select your array, and then here, modifier, we need to apply these changes. What does that do? Let's have a look. Doesn't do anything, okay? But it's an important step. Now, what I want to do next, I want to add some colour to these dominoes. Yeah, so let's have a new material. We'll go down to materials, we'll go down to new. Once we've done that, we're going to go into shading. Okay, and shading brings up this quite intimidating display. Move this up a little bit so I can see more clearly. Oof. Okay, we're going to add, and we're going to search for a colour ramp. Our colour ramp is going to go here. And then we're going to add, and we're going to search for object info. And our object info is going to go here. Let's move this into the display a little bit more. Okay, now this is complicated, but we don't need to fully understand it just yet. This colour, we are going to join to this base colour. And this random, we are going to join down here. Yep. Now, what we can do, we can change this colour to make it brighter. We'll change this to constant. We'll add 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is 0. This is going to be... Oi, sorry. Okay, that's fine. That can stay there. This is going to be 0.25. This is going to be 0.5. Need one more. This is going to be 0.75. Okay, so we have these, what are these called? These kind of dividers equally spaced. This one is at position 0. This one is at position 0.25. This one is at position 0.5, 0.75, and position 1. Now I'm going to click in here and then down here to change that colour. That's not done what I expected. Constant. Ah, okay. Strange. Okay. Blue. This one is going to be an orange. Okay, and this one is going to be a green. Okay, so I've got 4 different colours now. We've got our random object going in here to our facility, and our colour output going into our base colour. Now at the moment, these aren't random, are they? They're all one colour. They're all the same colour. And that's because all of these are still an array. All of these are still one object. Now, once we've done that, you can have any colours you want here. We're going to go back to layout. Yeah? And if we go to render view, we can see your colour might be different, but they're all the same colour. And that's because these cubes are still just one object. Domino. And in fact, I'm going to rename that object to Domino, yeah, just to make it easier to understand. I'm going to rename this to floor, and I'm going to rename this to our wrecking ball, okay? Where is our wrecking ball? Here it is, okay? This is the ball that's going to crash into these things. This is our floor, and these are our dominoes. Right, if we press play, what happens? Okay, it still pushes this structure out the way. That's not what we want. Okay, so what's next? Have we set up the physics for this? Yes, we have. Okay, now, we need to change this from an array into 25 dominoes. So, let me move that out of the way a little bit. How do I do that? Okay, so we've got the array selected. In our solid viewport mode, we can go to edit mode. You'll see that they're still all selected. Then we press P, and we separate by loose parts. And as soon as we do that, look what happens up here, okay? We go from 1 domino to 25 dominoes. So P, separate by loose parts, and here we go, yeah? These are no longer a single array, these are now 24 plus 1 individual objects. We can go back into edit mode. If we press play, what happens now? Oof, that's not what we wanted. Yeah, not at all. And that's because only one of these dominoes has a center of gravity. So we need to change that. You see this dot here, only the first domino has that. So we need to give that to all of our dominoes. So we go to Object, Set Origin, Origin to Geometry. And now each of these dominoes now has a center of gravity. Good. Now that we've separated them, when we go into our rendered view, we will see that they now all have random different colors. Yeah? And this is starting to look a bit better. If we press play, good. But it finishes too quickly, and it finishes too quickly because we've run out of frames. Okay, we've only got 250 frames, but by the time it gets to 249, we've still got dominoes left. So we need to we need more frames. So I'm going to change this to 500, and I'm going to pinch so that I can see all of my frames. Now, does that fix the problem? Let's go back to the start and press play. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we've got more frames, but the animation stops at 250. Yeah? That's not what we were expecting. Now, to fix that, we need to go here into Scene Properties. We need to expand Rigid Body World. Down here in Cache, we need to change this from 250 to our new value, which is 500. And now when we've done that, we press play, and we should now see all of these knocked over. There we go. Very good. Very good. Right, we're almost done. Okay, we just need to set up our camera, and then we can render. Okay, so where is my camera? My camera's all the way over here. So, using these to see more easily, G to grab. I'm going to move it on the x-axis. I'm going to move it to about there. Let's have a look through my camera. Can't see much. If you don't have this menu, you can press N to get it. And then we're going to change using our mouse, clicking and dragging. I don't want to change that. We're going to rotate until we get the perfect camera angle. We've got our camera down here. If we want to zoom out, we can zoom out using our focal length. So I'm going to put this to 30. I want to move my camera a little bit. I'm not happy with it, so I'm going to grab that and move that back a little bit more. And from the top, I want my camera a bit more central. So I'm going to grab it, move it on the y-axis. There we go. Now let's have a look at that. Okay, that looks a bit better. Like that. I want to keep it in portrait this time. I don't want it in landscape. If I do that, that's okay. I'm quite happy with that. Press play. I think it's a bit too central, my camera. So I'm going to move my camera back. I'm going to grab it, move it on the y-axis. I want it back a little bit more so I can see more of a side view. This will take you a bit of time, guys, yeah? This is not easy, it's not fast, but it's worth it. Here we go, let's try this. Let's move up a little bit. Good. 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 If I want the ball to fall a bit faster, let me come out of camera mode. Where's my ball? If I want the ball to fall a bit faster, I can go to my physics. I can make it a 10 kilo ball. Okay, so it should fall a bit faster. Yeah, and it runs on a little bit more because it has more inertia. Okay, good. I'm happy with that. When you're happy with that, If you want to add some music, you can do that. I'm not going to, not this time. I'm going to head to my render properties. I'm going to change my directory to my MOV directory. I'm going to change the file format to FFmpeg. I'm going to change the encoding to QuickTime. If you have added audio, you need to change this to MP3. And then you can go ahead and render animation. Right, when that has finished, and it takes a little bit of time, when that has finished, you get this output. You can go ahead and rename this to lesson 3. Of course, this is lesson 3. This is not lesson 2. Yeah, so you can rename it to lesson 3, and you get this. And once you've done that, you can fire up iMovie. You can drag the video in. You can then drag it down. We can add a transition. Sorry, and we can add a title. So in lesson 2 I made this. Come on, very slow today. Which one was it? It doesn't have to be the same. In lesson 3, I did this. And when you've done that, that is now the second checkpoint. So we can go ahead and we can share this to YouTube and Facebook. We can change the resolution up. We can press next. This is now checkpoint 2. Okay, so we can give that a name, we can save that. I'm just going to put it in my downloads for now. And when we've done that, when that render has finished, and it's exporting at the moment, when that has finished, we can upload that to YouTube. This is checkpoint 2. You can send me a link to that on Alma. Okay? All right, very good, guys. Have fun. See you in the next lesson is lesson 4.